Hello, everybody. We're going to be continuing with Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life. We're up to rule number 7, which is titled Pursue What is Meaningful, Not What is Expedient. My name is Gregory Brandt. I'm going to be doing the reading. Before I start, I remind you to, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. And we'll go ahead and get started. This first section for rule number 7 is titled Get While the Getting is Good. Life is suffering. That's clear. There is no more basic, irrefutable truth. It's basically what God tells Adam and Eve immediately before he kicks them out of paradise. I'm currently reading from Hawaii, whose nickname is Paradise. So that's good. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. And unto Adam he said, Because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, Thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground, for they take, and sorrow shalt they eat of all the days of thy life. Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field. By the sweat of your brow you will eat your food until you return to the ground, since from it was where you were taken, for dust you are, and dust you will return. Reminds me of the song of Kansas. What in the world should be done about that? The simplest, most dust in the wind by Kansas. The simplest, most obvious, and most different and direct answer: pursue pleasure, follow your impulses, live for the moment, do what's expedient, lie, cheat, steal, deceive, manipulate. But don't get caught. In an ultimately meaningless universe, what possible difference could it make? And this is by no means a new idea. The fact of life's tragedy and suffering that is part of it has been used to justify the pursuit of immediate selfish gratification for a very long time. Short and sorrowful is our life, and there is no remedy when a man comes to his end, and no one has been known to return from Hades, because we were born by mere chance, and hereafter we shall be as though we had never been, because the breath in our nostrils is smoke, and reason is a spark kindred in the beating of our hearts. When it is extinguished, the body will turn to ashes, and the spirit will dissolve like empty air. Our name will be forgotten in time, and no one will remember our works. Our life will pass away like the traces of a cloud, and be scattered like mist that is chased by the rays of the sun and overcome by its heat. For our allotted time is this passing of a shadow, and there is no return from our death, because it is sealed up and no one turns back. Come, therefore, let us enjoy the good things that exist, and make us use of this creation to the full as in youth. Let us take our full fill of costly wine and perfumes, and let no flower of spring pass by us. Let us crown ourselves with rosebuds before they wither. Let none of us fail to share in our revelry. Everywhere let us leave signs of enjoyment, because this is our portion, this is our lot. Let us oppress the righteous poor man. Let us not spare the widow, nor regard the gray hairs of the aged. But let might be our law of right, for what is weak proves itself to be useless. Wisdom, chapter 2, verse 1 through 11, RSV. 1 second, I'm going to shut this door. I can feel the neighbors coming up like, he's saying the words again. Magic words. The pleasure of expediency may be fleeting, but it's pleasure nonetheless, and that's something to stack up against the terror and pain of existence. Every man for himself, and the devil take the hindmost, as the old proverb has it. Why not simply take everything you can get whenever the opportunity arises? Why not determine to live in that manner? This chapter, I can tell it's going to be about delayed gratification, meaning that like if you wait and save your money and stuff like that, then you'll have a better future. And it's kind of like when you're driving into a parking lot of a grocery store, and you want to go to the grocery store. Most people, 9 out of 10, will park with the front in. So when they get out, they have to go in reverse, look both ways, and do a couple more steps. But the person that delays gratification the most, usually the most successful person, they'll back reverse into the parking lot. They'll take the time right when they get to the grocery store and back into it. So once they got their groceries in their car, they shut their hood, they can just pull right away. They don't need to like back up again and look both ways. That's delayed gratification. Or there is an alternative, more power and more compelling. Our ancestors worked out a very sophisticated answers to such questions, but we still don't understand them very well. This is because they are in large part still implicit and manifest primarily in ritual and myth, and, as of yet, incompletely articulated. We act them out and represent them in stories, but we're not yet wise enough to formulate them explicitly. We're still chimps in a troop, or wolves in a pack. We know how to behave, we know who's who and why, we've learned that through experience. Our knowledge has been shaped by our interaction with others. We've established predictable routines and patterns of behavior, but we don't really understand them or know where they originated. They've evolved over great expanses of time. No one was formulating them explicitly, at least not in the dimmest reaches of the past. Even though we've been telling each other how to act forever, one day, however, not so long ago, we woke up. We were already doing, but we started noticing what we were doing. We started using our bodies as devices to represent their own actions. We started imitating and dramatizing. We invented ritual. We started acting out our own experiences. Then we started to tell stories. We coded our observations of our drama in these stories. In this manner, the information that was at first only embedded in our behavior became represented in our stories, but we didn't and still don't understand what it all means. The biblical narrative of paradise and the fall is one such story, fabricated by our collective imagination working over the centuries. It provides a profound account of the nature of being and points the way to emotive conceptualization and action well matched to the nature. In the Garden of Eden, prior to the dawn of self-consciousness, so goes the story, human beings were sinless. Our primordial parents, Adam and Eve, walked with God. Then, tempted by the snake, the first couple ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, discovered death and vulnerability, and turned away from God. Mankind was exiled from paradise and began its effortless moral existence. The idea of sacrifice entered soon afterwards, beginning with the account of Cain and Abel and developing through the Abrahamic adventures of the Exodus. After much contemplation, struggling humanity learns that God's favor could be gained and his wrath averted through proper sacrifice, and also the bloody murder might be motivated among those unwilling to not or unable to succeed in that manner. That was from Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules of Life, rule number 7. That was the very first part of rule number 7, called Get While the Getting is Good. And I read that really good. Not many people can read that good. So if you watch this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, and send this somewhere. Not just for Jordan Peterson's great writing, but also for my great reading ability as well. And that way I can upgrade this channel. If you've noticed, I have a better light. I can actually get a camera and I can improve it. I myself am a writer. I wrote a book called Gonzo Education. That book is available to watch for free on this channel, and you can also get it for free on Amazon right now too. So thanks again for watching. Have a nice day.